What if the perfect TV mom you thought you knew was hiding a truth so unsettling? Even her own children couldn't stay silent anymore. Behind the carefully edited smiles, lavish homes, and media praise lies a fractured legacy of fame, silence, and betrayal. One that's finally unraveling. As the cameras stopped rolling, secrets began to spill, and what comes to light will change everything you thought you knew about the Gosselin family. How did America's most watched household become its most haunting mystery? Keep watching, because the truth is darker than anyone imagined. It all began with a spark of novelty. In a media landscape obsessed with uniqueness, Jon and Kate delivered something unprecedented. Twins, followed by sextuplets. A family of 10 practically overnight. When they first appeared on a Discovery Health Channel special in 2005, viewers were charmed. The chaos, the coordination, the endless diaper changes. It was reality gold. The ratings surged, and by 2007, TLC had greenlit Jon and Kate +8, turning this suburban Pennsylvania family into household names. What began as a peek into an extraordinary life quickly morphed into a full-blown phenomenon. Audiences were hooked. There was something addictive about the daily grind of packing lunches, organizing schedules, and wrangling toddlers into matching outfits. Kate, with her strict routines and sharp voice, became a symbol of relentless motherhood. Jon, on the other hand, was the laid-back dad barely keeping up. The dynamic was compelling, even endearing, until it wasn't. As seasons passed, the carefully edited narrative started to unravel. Whispers of something darker crept through the public's perception. Kate's assertiveness began to be labeled as domineering. Fans argued over whether her strict parenting was admirable or aggressive. Meanwhile, Jon faded into the background, looking more like a passive bystander than a father of 8. And then came the shift, the moment reality clashed with the narrative. In 2009, paparazzi snapped Jon partying with much younger women, far from the family's carefully curated image. Overnight, headlines branded him as a man spiraling into a midlife crisis. But behind those viral photos was a deeper truth. Jon later confessed that the couple had already been separated for months. TLC, he alleged, had pressured them to keep pretending for the sake of ratings. According to Jon, the network wasn't interested in reality. It was interested in revenue. By season 4, the family brand had become too big to fail. Endorsements, book deals, speaking engagements. Kate had transformed herself into a full-blown media figure. She graced magazine covers, landed talk show interviews, and leaned into the image of the modern-day supermom. But behind the smile was a chilling silence. According to Jon, he had been sidelined in both production decisions and family matters. When the split finally went public during a dramatic June 2009 episode, it wasn't just a break. It was a strategic announcement, time to air during one of the show's highest-rated segments. One has to wonder, was this really about the kids, or had the show become too lucrative to pause for healing? That infamous couch scene felt less like a family conversation and more like a scripted press conference. "Kate and I have decided to separate," Jon mumbled, barely glancing at the camera. Kate's voice cracked slightly as she added, "It's just not good for the kids to see us arguing." But the damage was already done. That episode marked the beginning of a new era, not just for the Gosselins, but for reality television itself. TLC wasted no time. The show was rebranded as Kate +8, and Jon was scrubbed from the spotlight entirely. Jon called it erasure. He claimed Kate had seized control, rewriting the family's legacy without him. More troubling, he said, was how his role as a father was pushed into obscurity, not just on screen, but in real life. Over the years, he has spoken openly about the deep estrangement from most of his children, a heartbreaking consequence he blames on the show, the fame, and the manipulation behind the scenes. He described the experience not just as a divorce from Kate, but as an emotional severing from his own family, one orchestrated by producers and cemented by legal restrictions. As the cameras rolled on Kate and the children's lives, Jon was relegated to the sidelines. The man once at the center of a cultural moment now struggled to rebuild in private. Financially, the toll was brutal. Without the show's income and with mounting legal fees, Jon pivoted to odd jobs: DJing, IT work, and later hospital management. While Kate continued to secure interviews and brand deals, Jon quietly focused on maintaining a relationship with the two children still living with him. Public appearances became rare, and his media presence faded. Contrast that with Kate's post-divorce lifestyle, which remained steeped in comfort, at least on the surface. She kept the family's upgraded Pennsylvania estate, valued at over $1 million at the time. She was spotted driving luxury SUVs, wearing designer pieces, and vacationing with her children. Sources close to the family suggest she secured lucrative publishing contracts and continued to earn from syndicated reruns of the show. While there are no confirmed reports of private jets or global real estate, insiders claim she held multiple insurance policies, one reportedly tied to the show's success, protecting her brand in case of cancellation or crisis. Health and home insurance were also said to be structured around the demands of raising 8 children alone. Yet for all the glitz, both Jon and Kate's stories are cautionary tales. Fame may open doors, but it rarely gives you the keys to peace. Jon has urged other parents to think twice before putting children in front of the camera. He's emphasized the importance of legal protections, transparency in contracts, and emotional boundaries, lessons hard-earned at the cost of family unity. He now speaks of financial prudence, having learned that rapid success without a safety net is a recipe for collapse. At the heart of it all were 8 children, twin girls and sextuplets, thrust into a spotlight they never chose. While Jon was legally granted shared custody, the children remained with Kate in the family home, a place that ironically became both a haven and a battleground. As Jon watched from the sidelines, he claimed he was gradually being erased from their lives. According to him, Kate, with her ties to TLC and access to top-tier legal teams, leveraged her connections to steer the narrative, not just in courtrooms, but in the media. This wasn't a silent battle. In 2010, Jon stormed into the public arena, launching a full-scale media tour. On platforms like Larry King Live, he accused Kate of turning their children into a product. "These aren't actors," he insisted. "They're being filmed during emotional turmoil. That's not TV, that's exploitation." His voice was raw, pleading, and unapologetically direct. But for Kate, the camera was a lifeline. She argued that the show wasn't just about fame. It was about financial survival for her family. The income funded their lives, their future, their normalcy. But beneath the justifications was a darker undercurrent. The battle wasn't just about parenting philosophies, it was about power, image, and money. In a twist that raised eyebrows, Jon alleged that TLC was backing Kate financially, even footing her legal bills while taking legal action against him. He painted a David and Goliath picture, himself outmanned, silenced by non-disclosure agreements, and smeared by carefully crafted PR narratives. While Kate was busy branding herself as a single supermom, Jon was being portrayed as reckless, clubbing, dating younger women, and getting inked in tabloid headlines. The fall from grace, he claimed, was engineered. Jon's revelations didn't stop there. Years after the cameras stopped, he dropped a financial bombshell. He never received a dime from the show after the split. He even claimed Kate dipped into the kids' trust funds to finance her legal crusade, a move that caused a stir, but surprisingly never led to charges. Meanwhile, Kate continued to maintain a picture-perfect media image, landing appearances on Dancing with the Stars, releasing parenting books, and speaking on daytime TV. She became a brand, a symbol of control amid chaos. Behind that public poise, however, was a strategic financial empire. Kate's real estate holdings included a sprawling estate in Pennsylvania, once valued at over $1.3 million. Though eventually sold, it became the symbol of her post-divorce independence. Her lifestyle showcased luxury SUVs, upscale wardrobes, and a preference for high-end brands, all aligning with her carefully curated image. With estimates placing her current net worth around $500,000 to $750,000, projections suggest a modest but steady growth as she continues to lean into influencer work and residuals from her reality TV legacy. Meanwhile, Jon's financial life took a dramatically different turn. Once reportedly worth around $2 million during the show's peak, his net worth has dropped significantly, with recent reports placing it around $50,000. His career path has been humble but consistent, working as a DJ, IT specialist, and in hospitality. No flashy cars, no designer watches, no sprawling estates. His life has become a reflection of his battle, grounded, stripped of fame, and laser-focused on reconnecting with his children. But what about the kids? The ones born into all of this? Their early years were lived in front of the world, with cameras capturing everything from birthday parties to breakdowns. As they grew older, the emotional toll became more visible. One of the most telling moments came in 2023, when Jon Gosselin took to TikTok, hinting at unresolved emotional scars. In a powerful comment, she wrote, "You don't have to forgive someone just because they're your parent." That line hit hard, and suggested that the damage might not be healed by time alone. For Jon, those words were a punch to the gut. He's been open in interviews about wanting reconciliation, yearning to share his truth with his children, and apologize if he failed them. But with most of them now adults, that door is one only they can open. Still, he refuses to give up. In July 2023, he returned to the headlines, not for scandal, but to finally speak freely. "I haven't spoken to Kate since 2018, he confessed in a breaking interview, a chilling admission that showed just how deep the estrangement runs. Jon's voice in that 2023 interview wasn't bitter. It was exhausted. "There's no co-parenting," he admitted, his words carrying the weight of a fractured past. "There's no relationship. We don't talk. We don't coordinate. Nothing." That confession wasn't just a moment of honesty. It was a glimpse into a family dynamic that had completely collapsed. Jon didn't just speak of miscommunication. He described a cold silence, a shut door. 8 children once shared a home built on promises, but now, not even a simple conversation remained between their parents. Jon claimed he had tried to rebuild, to reconcile, but said Kate had emotionally blocked him from their children, creating a distance that felt intentional, calculated, and final. That silence spoke louder than any public statement Kate might have made. Her decision not to respond left fans wondering, had she cut Jon out completely? And if so, what did that mean for the kids, now transitioning into adulthood, some of them still entangled in a story they never asked to be part of? Then came a gut-wrenching revelation about Colin, a detail that had slipped past public eyes until Jon brought it into the light. For years, fans were unaware that Colin had been institutionalized. According to Jon, this wasn't about treatment, it was punishment. "He was asking too many questions," Jon said. "He was standing up to her." And rather than deal with it, Kate, he claimed, sent him away. Jon fought for Colin with everything he had. Legal documents confirmed a long battle that ended when Kate didn't show up in court. What Jon found after gaining custody broke him. A son who was underweight, afraid, and deeply distrustful. "It was like he didn't believe adults were safe anymore," Jon recalled. It was a father's worst nightmare. While sealed medical records made it impossible to confirm every detail, the emotional gravity of Jon's account sparked public outcry. At the very least, It painted a tragic portrait of a son who had vanished from public view and from his father's life for years. And now, Colin lives full-time with Jon, having severed ties with Kate and most of his siblings. He's dropped haunting hints online, referring to that period as traumatizing, while Kate, through legal representation, has denied any wrongdoing. But rumors lingered. Some claimed Kate had privately asked Colin for forgiveness, only to be turned away. Whether true or not, it added to the perception of a mother losing the connection to the very children she once raised on national television. Then came another blow. The resurfacing of allegations that Kate had withdrawn over $100,000 from two of her children's trust accounts. This wasn't speculation. It was documented in a 2019 court case. Kate claimed the money was used for survival and promised to repay it. But by 2023, Jon told reporters he had seen no proof of repayment. That money was meant for their futures, he said, not for a lawyer or a personal chef. Some fans rushed to defend Kate, pointing out the immense burden of raising 8 children alone. But others questioned how someone with reality TV income, speaking engagements, and sponsorships could justify draining those accounts. Was this a desperate act or a deliberate choice? Either way, the damage was done. The money meant to support her children's future had become a symbol of the past she couldn't escape. Jon, once painted as a party-loving tabloid figure, has shifted entirely. His present is far from the spotlight. He now works in IT, living a quiet life in Pennsylvania with Colin and Hannah. He no longer chases fame. Instead, his focus is on rebuilding, one child at a time. "I just want them to know they're loved," he said. "They've been through more than people realize." His words weren't accusatory. They were laced with heartbreak. He spoke of the 6 children who remained with Kate, respecting their choices, yet wishing he could reconnect. "I don't think they hate me," he said. "I think they've been told things that aren't true." While Jon tried to close a painful chapter, his words opened a new one for the public. This wasn't just a story of estranged parents. It was a family divided by silence, television lights, and legal battles. And as fans reflected on the years of scripted family bliss once shown on TLC, one chilling question echoed: was any of it ever real? Meanwhile, Kate's public image remained tightly managed. After their divorce, she stayed visible. Her spin-offs like Kate Plus 8 and Kate Plus Date offered curated glimpses into her life. She appeared controlled, strong, always framed as the single mom making sacrifices. But as time went on, sharp-eyed viewers noticed something troubling. Colin was missing. Then Hannah, and the explanations were vague at best. Former crew members of Jon and Kate Plus 8 later suggested she didn't just control her home, she controlled the narrative. Everything on screen, they said, was carefully shaped to protect her image. The real turning point came not from the media, but from within the Gosselin household. As the children aged and social media became their own platform, the carefully maintained legacy began to fracture. When Colin, one of the sextuplets, broke his silence online, the effect was immediate and raw. His now deleted posts weren't explicit, but the tone was unmistakable. He didn't feel safe in his mother's home. Jon supported him fully, giving his son a voice the show never had. And that voice carried emotional weight that no edit could soften. Kate's former allies in the media have grown quiet. The glowing profiles that once celebrated her structure and resolve have been replaced with articles questioning how far a parent should go for fame. Viewers started asking the hard questions. What was sacrificed behind the scenes? How deep do the emotional scars run? And has the silence that surrounds Kate now become more about survival than strategy? Because today, that once glamorous reality star is reportedly living in seclusion in North Carolina, distant from 2 of her children and completely severed from Jon. While 6 of the children are believed to maintain some form of contact with her, the depth of those relationships remains unclear. Publicly, Kate says little. Some believe she's chosen this silence deliberately, convinced the world turned against her unfairly. Others think she's quietly battling internal regrets, unsure of how to rebuild the bridges that fame helped burn. But one thing is certain: the tight grip she once had over the family narrative has slipped. And if any of the remaining children ever choose to share their truths, whether to defend or indict her, it could shatter the last remnants of the image she worked so hard to preserve. The decisions they make, the words they choose to say or not say. And when that time comes, the world may finally learn what really happened behind those reality show smiles. Until then, what remains is silence. And in that silence, a storm of untold truths waiting to rise. So what do you think really happened behind the Gosselin headlines? Drop your thoughts in the comments, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more untold celebrity stories. After all, every spotlight casts a shadow.